I sit at the wrong table and it saves my life. I don't know it yet. All I know is I'm 20 minutes early, sweating through my one good shirt, and the hostess pointed vaguely toward the corner booth before her phone rang. So I pick one. Wrong choice, right consequence, she's already there. Wheelchair positioned at an angle that says she's done this 1,000 times. Dress the color of winter sky. Hands folded like she's waiting for someone important. She looks up. Her eyes are dark water, the kind that drowns you slowly. "You're not Marcus," she says. "I'm Eli. I should leave." I should apologize and scramble to whatever table my actual blind date is probably abandoning by now. But something in her face stops me. A challenge, maybe, or exhaustion with being looked at the wrong way. "And you're not Sarah, Claire." A smile ghosts across her mouth. "Sarah stood you up?" "Apparently," I glance around. No one's rushing over to claim this table. "Marcus? Late or imaginary. My father set this up." She says father the way people say tumor. Sit. Unless you'd rather hunt for Sarah. I sit, we talk like people who have nothing to lose. She asks what I do. I tell her I fix engines, that I dream in torque specs and combustion ratios, that 6 months ago I designed an electric motor prototype that could revolutionize commercial vehicles, that Joe Automotive's VP of engineering called it unrealistic, and showed me the door in under 4 minutes. Her expression shifts, something I can't read. "Claire." "Joe," she says quietly. The name hits like a piston. Drop Joe. As in Joe Automotive. As in the company that crushed my blueprint without reading past the cover page. As in the CEO who built an empire on innovation, but apparently can't recognize it when it walks through his door. "Your father rejected you. Yes, he rejects everyone." She traces the rim of her water glass. "He rejected me too, in his way. When the accident happened, when I woke up and couldn't walk, he looked at me like I was one of his failed prototypes, something that didn't perform to specifications." The bitterness in her voice is surgical, precise, clean, deep. "I shouldn't have sat here," I say, "but you did." She leans forward, and suddenly the space between us feels combustible. "Tell me about your design. The real version, not the elevator pitch you gave his VP." So I do. I sketch it on a napkin. The magnetic flux architecture, the regenerative braking integration, the cooling system that solves the overheating problem every competitor faces. She asks questions that make me explain deeper, push harder. She understands. Not just the engineering, the why. Why I've spent 3 years of nights on this. Why I can taste the possibility. "My father's hosting a design showcase next month," Claire says. "Invitation only. A chance for innovators to pitch directly to him and the board. I won't get an invitation." "No." Her smile is dangerous now. "But I can bring a +1. I should ask why. Why she'd help someone her father already dismissed. Why she's looking at me like I'm an equation she's solving." But Marcus appears then. Slicked hair, expensive watch, apology dying on his lips as he registers me in his seat. Claire doesn't look at him. "Thursday," she says to me. 7 p.m. I'll text you the address. I leave before Marcus can speak, before I can think about what I'm agreeing to. Her message arrives at midnight, Thursday. "Don't wear that shirt," and underneath, "He ruined me too." Let's ruin him back. She lives in a penthouse that feels like a museum for everything her father values. Glass, steel, awards, and backlit cases. No photos, no warmth, just evidence of achievement preserved like specimens. "He doesn't live here," Claire says, reading my face. "This is the apartment he bought me after the accident. Close to his office. Easy for the physical therapists. A beautiful cage." She wheels past me toward floor-to-ceiling windows. "I kept it because I like watching his building from here. 16 floors up, 3 blocks west. I can see his office light. I know when he's working late, when he's in early, when he's avoiding home. That's obsessive." She laughs, sharp and bright. "Yes, but useful." She turns, and the city lights behind her make her glow like she's burning from the inside. "Your design. We have 3 weeks to make it bulletproof. He'll have his lead engineers in that room, Eli. They'll look for every flaw, every reason to say no." "Why are you doing this?" The question hangs between us like smoke. "Because he thinks I'm decorative now." Poor Claire, so bright before the accident, such potential. Now she's just proof of his mortality. The daughter who survived but didn't recover right. She pulls a laptop onto her knees with practiced ease. "He doesn't know I still have access to his R&D servers. That I read every rejected proposal, every internal memo, that I know exactly why they dismissed your design. She opens a file. It's my proposal, but annotated. Highlighted sections, margin notes in multiple handwriting styles. Chen thought the cooling system was too complex. Morrison said the cost projections were naive. Your mistake wasn't the design, it was assuming they wanted innovation. They want safe, incremental. My father built his empire on revolution 30 years ago, and now he's terrified of it. I move closer, reading over her shoulder. She smells like jasmine and something sharper. Ambition maybe, or anger worn as perfume. We refine this, she says. We make it undeniable. I'll coach you on exactly how to present it, which board members are allies, which phrases make my father listen. Her fingers fly across the keyboard, and when you succeed, when he realizes what he almost missed, he'll know you helped me. Yes. Her smile could cut diamonds. That's the point. We work through the night. She's brilliant, not just smart but strategic, seeing 3 moves ahead. She knows her father's weak points. His pride in being first, his fear of competitors, his need to be the visionary everyone remembers. She shows me rejected proposals from other companies, points out where Joe Automotive is falling behind. They're vulnerable, she says around midnight, pulling up market analyses. Tesla's eating their luxury segment. BYD's dominating affordable electric. Your design bridges both. High performance, scalable manufacturing. It's exactly what they need. He just can't see it because you're not the person he expected genius to look like. What do I look like to him? Young, unproven, not from the right schools, the right circles. She meets my eyes. Like someone who hasn't earned the right to be brilliant yet. And to you? The question slips out. Too personal. Too raw. Claire's quiet for a moment. Then, like someone who still believes his work matters more than the politics around it. She stops, something vulnerable crossing her face. I used to be that person before the accident. Before I learned that what you create matters less than who you know. What you achieve matters less than what box people put you in. She closes the laptop. The accident just made it obvious. Suddenly I wasn't Claire the prodigy engineer. I was Claire the tragedy. Claire the cautionary tale. I sit on the couch across from her. You studied engineering? MIT, top of my class. I was developing autonomous vehicle systems, actually working, not just theorizing. I was going to revolutionize the industry. Her laugh is hollow. Then a drunk driver revolutionized me instead. Fractured spine, severed nerves. I spent 18 months learning to live again. When I finally came back, my father had given my projects to other teams. He said I should rest, focus on recovery. He meant focus on being acceptable again. That's practical. From his perspective, she wheels closer and suddenly she's right there, need a wheel tire. He thinks I spend my days at charity lunches and therapy appointments. He doesn't know I've been building something else. A different kind of revolution, which is watching, learning, finding every promising designer he's rejected, every innovation he's missed. You're not the first, Eli, but you might be the one I can actually use. Use. The word should bother me more than it does. So I'm your weapon, I say. We're each other's. Her eyes are fierce. I get you in the room. You show them genius. He realizes his mistake, both mistakes. The design and me. And if it doesn't work, then we both stay invisible. She reaches out, fingers brushing my wrist. Her touch is electric. But I don't plan to stay invisible. I should leave. This isn't about my design anymore. It's about her war with her father, and I'm just ammunition. But her hand is still on my wrist, and I can feel her pulse through her fingertips, and God help me, I want to be part of whatever she's building. Thursday, I say. We'll burn his world down. Her smile is victory and vengeance and something else. Something that feels dangerously like hope. Thursday, she agrees. I leave at 3 a.m. with schematics, strategy, and the feeling that I've just made either the best or worst decision of my life. Her text comes before I reach my car. Don't fall in love with me, Eli. I'm not trying to save us. I'm trying to destroy him. I read it 7 times before I realize I'm already too late. We meet every night for 2 weeks. Her penthouse becomes our war room. Blueprints spread across tables, presentation slides projected on walls. My design evolving from promising to devastating. Claire is relentless. She makes me practice my pitch until every word is a blade. Every pause calculated for maximum impact. Again, she says on night 9. from the cost analysis. And this time, don't apologize for the numbers. I'm not apologizing. You soften your voice when you hit the manufacturing estimates, like you're asking permission to be right. She wheels closer, tilting her head. You do it with me, too. Whenever you disagree, your shoulders curl in. Stop making yourself smaller. I run it again. Better, sharper, good. She smiles. The real one, not the weapon she shows the world. You're learning, but I'm learning more than presentations. I'm learning that she takes her coffee black at midnight and sweet at dawn. That she has nightmares about the accident, wakes up gasping and pretends she doesn't. That she plays violin, or did before, and keeps the instrument in a closet she never opens. That she's brilliant and bitter and so goddamn lonely it radiates off her like heat. Tell me about the accident, I say one night. 3 a.m., both of us exhausted, defenses low. She's quiet so long I think she won't answer. It was raining, she finally says. I was driving back from the lab, late, tired, still thinking about a problem with the sensor arrays. I didn't see him run the light. The drunk driver, they always call them that, like it's their defining characteristic. He was a father of 2, 43, worked construction, he lived, walked away with a broken arm and a DUI. She traces patterns on her armrest. I was supposed to present my autonomous vehicle prototype the next week. The irony isn't lost on me. I was building technology to prevent accidents and then, Claire, my father visited me exactly 4 times in the hospital, brought flowers, brought his phone, stood there looking at me like I was a quarterly earnings report that disappointed him. Her voice cracks just barely. He told me I was a survivor, that I should be grateful. And I am, I suppose. Grateful to wake up, grateful to breathe. But I'm also furious, Eli. Furious that he can't look at me the same way. Furious that I worked so hard to be exceptional, and none of it matters now because all anyone sees is the chair. I'm across the room before I think about it, kneeling beside her wheelchair. I see you, I say. Not the chair, not the tragedy. You. Her hand comes up, fingers trembling as they touch my jaw. Don't what? Don't be kind to me. I'm using you. I told you that. I know. I lean into her touch. Use me anyway. She kisses me like drowning. Desperate and fierce and terrifying. I kiss her back like I can save her even though we both know I can't. That maybe she doesn't want saving, just witnessing. Just someone who sees the war she's fighting and doesn't flinch. When we break apart, she's crying. Silent tears that she wipes away angry and fast. This is a mistake, she says, probably. I'm going to hurt you. I know. She laughs, watery and wrecked. You're supposed to run. Too late. I rest my forehead against hers. I'm already here. We don't sleep together that night, but we stay tangled on her couch until dawn. Her head on my shoulder, my arm around her. Both of us pretending this is just strategy, just alliance. Both of us knowing it's already so much more and so much worse. Thursday arrives like a reckoning. Claire picks me up in a modified Tesla, hand controls elegant and efficient. She's wearing red, blood-dark, gorgeous, chosen specifically to make her father uncomfortable. You look terrified, she says. I am. Good. Channel it. She hands me a flash drive. Your presentation. Everything we built. Don't let them talk over you. Don't let my father redirect. You get 15 minutes. Make them matter. The Joe Automotive headquarters is glass and ambition. 70 stories of everything I've ever wanted to be part of. Claire navigates it like she owns it. Because once, maybe she thought she would. Her father's waiting in the executive conference room. David Joe, silver-haired, sharp-suited, radiating controlled power. He looks at Claire and something complicated crosses his face. Love and disappointment and guilt all fighting for space. Claire. You didn't mention you'd be attending. My +1. She gestures to me. Eli Chen. You rejected his proposal 6 months ago. I suggest you reconsider. His eyes land on me. Recognition flickers. The electric motor design. We determined it wasn't viable. You determined wrong, Claire says, voice diamond sharp. Eli's presenting in the showcase. I'm sponsoring him. The temperature drops 10 degrees. We should discuss this privately, David says. No. Claire wheels forward. You built this company on finding genius in unexpected places. Or that's the story you tell. Let's see if it's true. Other board members file in, engineers, executives, investors. They look at me like I'm a curiosity, a charity case Claire dragged in. I feel my shoulders curling, my voice preparing to soften. Then I catch Claire's eye. She mouths, "Destroy them, so I do." I present like my life depends on it because maybe it does. I show them the design, the cost projections, the market analyses Claire helped me build. I show them exactly how far behind they're falling, how my motor solves problems they don't even know they have yet. I speak with Claire's certainty, her precision, her rage. 15 minutes. I don't waste 1 second. When I finish, the room is silent. Then David Joe stands, walks to the projection screen, studies my schematics like they're a language he'd forgotten he knew. He stops, turns to his VP of engineering. "Chen, you reviewed this 6 months ago. You told me it was unrealistic." The VP shifts. The initial proposal lacked. This is the initial proposal. "Isn't it, Mr. Chen?" My mouth goes dry. "Yes, sir. With refinements." David looks at Claire. She stares back, unflinching. "Who helped you with these refinements?" The question is a trap. If I say Claire, he'll dismiss it as her rebellion. If I lie, she'll never forgive me. "Your daughter," I say. "She saw what your team missed." David's face goes carefully blank. "Claire, we need to speak now." "No." Her voice cuts. "You're going to accept Eli's design. You're going to fund development. And you're going to admit you were wrong. About him and about me. This isn't the time, Koig. It's exactly the time." She's shaking now, fury finally breaking through. "I've spent 2 years invisible. 2 years watching you give my work away, watching you treat me like broken glass. I'm still an engineer, Dad. I'm still brilliant. And you can't even see it because all you see is what I lost." The room holds its breath. David Joe looks at his daughter like he's seeing her for the first time in years. Or maybe like he's finally admitting what he's been refusing to see. "You're right," he says quietly. "I've been wrong. Victory. It should feel like victory." But Claire's face crumples and I realize this isn't what she wanted. She wanted war, wanted to force his hand, wanted to prove she didn't need his approval. She didn't want him to just give it. "Claire," David steps forward. "No." She backs away, wheels spinning. "You don't get to do this. You don't get to fix this now just because I made you look." She turns to me, eyes wild. Tell him this was my idea. That I found you, coached you, used you to prove a point." "Claire, stop. Tell him I accessed his servers without permission. That I manipulated you into this presentation. That I've been planning this for months." She's unraveling. All the control she's held for weeks finally breaking. "Tell him what I am." "A survivor," I say. "You're a survivor who refused to disappear." She looks at me like I've betrayed her. Then she leaves, wheels spinning so fast toward the elevator that I have to run to catch up. David Joe calling after her. The board members frozen in shock. I catch her at the parking garage. "Claire, wait, don't." She won't look at me. "This was a mistake. All of it. You got what you wanted. I wanted him to refuse." The words tear out of her. I wanted him to choose his pride over my help so I could finally stop hoping he'd choose me. But he didn't, and now I have to. She chokes. Now I have to forgive him. And I'm not ready. I'm so fucking angry, Eli. And if he takes that away, what do I have left? I kneel in front of her chair. You have you. You have your brilliance. You have you? She laughs, broken. I used you. I told you I was using you. I know. Then why are you still here? Because I love you. Because you're magnificent and terrifying, and I'd let you use me forever if it meant being close to this fire. Because someone has to see you. I say instead, the real you. And I do. She kisses me then, desperate and grateful and goodbye all at once. I'm sorry, she whispers against my mouth. For what? But she's already pulling away, already leaving. And I'm standing in a parking garage with everything I thought I wanted. The deal. The approval, the future. Wondering why it feels like I just lost the only thing that mattered. I don't hear from Claire for 3 days. David Joe's team contacts me within hours. Contracts, development schedules, a salary that feels like fiction. Everything I dreamed about, signed and sealed. I should be celebrating. Instead, I'm calling Claire's number for the 40th time, listening to it ring into void. On day 4, she finally answers. Stop calling. Claire, you got what you wanted. Take it, be grateful. This isn't about the deal. Everything is about the deal, Eli. That's what you're not understanding. Her voice is flat, scraped clean of emotion. I needed to prove something. I proved it. We're done. You're lying. Silence. Then, come to the penthouse tonight. I'll explain everything. She hangs up before I can respond. I arrive at 8. She's by the windows again, but something's different. The apartment feels colder, emptier. Boxes are stacked near the door. You're leaving. I bought a place across the city, smaller, mine. She finally turns. She looks exhausted, hollowed out. My father's been here every day since the presentation, apologizing, wanting to reconnect, offering me a position in R&D again. That's good, isn't it? That's what you wanted. I wanted to hurt him. The words explode out. I wanted him to feel what I felt, dismissed, erased, helpless. But he just absorbed it. Took responsibility. Started fixing things. She laughs bitterly. Do you know how hard it is to hate someone who refuses to be the villain? I step closer. So don't hate him. Then what do I do with all this anger? Her hands are shaking. I've been running on it for 2 years. It's the only thing that made me feel alive. And now he's taking it away and I'm supposed to just, what, forgive him? Move on? Pretend I haven't been fantasizing about destroying everything he built? You're supposed to grieve, I say quietly. Grieve what you lost, who you were before, the life you thought you'd have. I can't. Her voice breaks. If I start, I won't stop. I close the distance between us, but she holds up a hand. Don't. Please. She swallows hard. I need to tell you something. About why I really chose you. My stomach drops. There were 12 designers my father rejected last year. I researched all of them. 11 had flaws. Designs that actually weren't viable or personalities that would never work in that boardroom. She meets my eyes and there's something terrible in her expression. You were the only one who was genuinely brilliant. The only one who didn't deserve rejection. Okay. Which made you perfect. Because if I used someone who deserved to fail, it wouldn't prove anything. But if I took someone who deserved to succeed, someone genuine and hopeful and good, and weaponized them, she stops, chest heaving. It would prove I was as ruthless as my father, that I could be just as calculating, just as willing to use people to win. The words land like punches. You chose me because I was good, I say slowly. Because using someone good would make you feel worse. Yes, and the rest? The late nights, the coaching, I can't say kissing, can't say falling. Strategy. She won't look away, won't let herself off easy. I knew you'd be easier to mold if you felt connected to me. If you thought we were, she swallows, partners. You're lying. But my voice wavers. Am I? She wheels forward, and now there's something cruel in her expression. The same calculation I've watched her use on her father. Think about it, Eli. Every vulnerability I shared perfectly timed. Every touch strategically placed. I studied manipulation the same way I studied engineering. Inputs and outputs, cause and effect. Stop. My hands are fists. You're trying to make me hate you. I'm trying to tell you the truth. No, you're trying to burn this down because you're terrified. I'm shouting now, all the fear and anger and love finally breaking through. You got what you wanted. Your father's attention, your position back, proof you still matter. But you can't accept it because then you'd have to admit you want to be loved more than you want to be right. She slaps me. Not hard. She doesn't have the leverage from the chair, but the shock of it stops us both cold. You don't know me, she whispers. I know you're lying right now. I know you're pushing me away because letting me stay means letting yourself be vulnerable, letting yourself want something other than revenge. I touch my cheek where her hand connected. I know that kiss in the parking garage wasn't strategy. Neither were the nights you fell asleep on my shoulder or the way you said my name when... Stop. She's crying now, quiet and devastating. Please stop. Why? Because I did use you. The confession rips out of her. Maybe it started as strategy. Maybe I told myself it was all calculation. But somewhere in those 2 weeks I started actually wanting you to succeed. Started hating myself for the reasons I chose you. Started falling for you even though I knew... She chokes. I knew I'd have to do this. Have to push you away, because I don't know how to let someone love the person I've become. The truth sits between us like broken glass. I'm not the woman you think I am, she says quietly. I'm angry and manipulative and so desperate to matter that I turned a good man into a weapon. You should hate me. I should, I agree. But I don't. Why not? Because I know what you're not saying. I kneel in front of her again, catching her hands before she can pull away. You're not saying you didn't feel anything. You're not saying it was all fake. You're saying you don't deserve it. The second chance, the forgiveness, the love. You're saying you're too broken to be wanted. Her face crumples. But you're wrong, I say. I see all of it, Claire. The manipulation and the vulnerability, the calculation and the chaos, the person you were and the person you're becoming. And I'm still here. You shouldn't be. Too bad. She laughs through tears, watery and wrecked. I'll hurt you again. I don't know how to do this, how to want something without weaponizing it. Then we'll figure it out. Together. That's naive. Probably. I squeeze her hands, but I didn't design an impossible motor by being realistic. I did it by believing something broken could be fixed. She pulls me close then, forehead against mine, both of us shaking. I accessed his servers illegally, she whispers. Used confidential information. If he wanted to, he could. He won't. He knows what you did. He's choosing to let it go. That makes it worse. I wanted him to punish me, to prove I was right about him. He's not the villain, Claire. Neither are you. You're just two people who love each other and forgot how to show it. She's quiet for a long moment. Then, my mother left when I was 8. Did I tell you that? No. He threw himself into work. Built an empire. I thought if I could be brilliant enough, exceptional enough, maybe he'd look at me the way he looked at his designs. Like I was something worth perfecting. She pulls back to meet my eyes. The accident didn't take my legs, Eli. It took my last excuse. I couldn't blame my distance from him on being busy anymore. I had to face that maybe I'd never be what he wanted. And now he's saying I always was. That he pushed me away because he was scared of losing me, not disappointed in me. That watching me in that hospital bed was the worst moment of his life, and he didn't know how to. She stops, voice breaking. How do I forgive that? How do I let go of 2 years of anger when it turns out I was wrong about everything? Slowly, I say. Imperfectly. The same way you let me in. She kisses me then, soft and scared and real. Not strategy. Not manipulation. Just want and fear and hope all tangled together. When we break apart, she's still crying. I'm sorry, she says. For using you. For lying. I know. I might not be good at this. At being loved. At being honest, I know that too. Then why? Because you're worth it, I say simply. The anger, the fear, the broken parts, all of it. You're worth it. She holds me like I'm the only solid thing in a world that won't stop spinning. Outside, the city glitters with possibility and ruin, and somewhere across town her father's office light is still on, and nothing is fixed, but maybe something is beginning. 6 months later, I'm in Joe Automotive's R&D lab watching the first prototype motor run. It purrs like a promise kept. Claire's beside me, clipboard in lap, calling out performance metrics to the engineering team. She joined the company 3 months ago. Not in her old position, but something new. Something she built herself. Chief Innovation Officer. She finds the brilliance her father misses. She makes sure rejection letters come with explanations now, with chances. Torque output exceeds projections by 8%, she says, and there's no victory in her voice. Just focus. Just work. Her father stands on the other side of the testing bay, watching her, not the motor. There's pride on his face, but also caution, like he's learning a language he thought he knew but realizes he'd been speaking wrong for years. They have dinner once a week now. Sometimes it goes well. Sometimes Claire leaves early, jaw tight, and I hold her in my apartment while she works through the anger that still surfaces like muscle memory. Forgiveness isn't linear. Neither is love. We did it, I say, when the test concludes, when the engineers are celebrating and the numbers prove what we always knew. Claire takes my hand. Her grip is strong. We did. But she's not talking about the motor. That night, in her new apartment, the one with lower counters and wider doorways and photos on the walls now. Actual photos, she shows me something, a violin. The one from the closet I've been practicing, she says. It sounds terrible. My hands don't remember how, but I'm trying, she plays. It is terrible, broken melodies, missed notes, frustration in every bow stroke. It's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. I'm not who I was before, she says when she stops, setting the violin down with shaking hands. I won't ever be her again. Good, I say. I like who you are now. Even though I'm still angry sometimes. Still manipulative when I'm scared. Still, especially then, I pull her close. You're not a design to be perfected, Claire. You're a person. Complicated and brilliant and flawed. That's the part I love. She kisses me like she's finally starting to believe it. The motor goes into production in spring. Jew Automotive stock climbs. Industry magazines call it revolutionary. My name is on the patent, but Claire's fingerprints are all over it. In every refinement, every strategic decision, every moment she pushed me to be better. We're in David Joe's office when he offers me the promotion. Senior design engineer, my own team. You've earned it, he says. Then looking at Claire, you both have. She meets his eyes. Something passes between them. Not forgiveness, maybe, not yet. But acknowledgement, progress. There's one condition, I say. David raises an eyebrow. Every rejected proposal gets a second review. By Claire. We don't miss the next great design because it came from the wrong person. He's quiet for a moment. Then he nods. Agreed. Claire squeezes my hand under the table where he can't see. Late that night, back in her apartment, she asks, "Do you regret it? Sitting at the wrong table?" I think about the blind date I missed, the ordinary life I might have had, the simplicity I traded for this, for broken prototype hearts and complicated repairs and love that doesn't solve everything, but makes the unsolved parts bearable. No, I say. Best mistake I ever made. She smiles, the real one, the one that took months to earn. Mine too. Outside the city hums with 1,000 stories. Wrong tables and right moments, accidents that become purpose. People who break and rebuild and learn that maybe perfection was never the point. Claire falls asleep against my chest, violin calluses rough on my skin, and I think, this is what innovation really looks like. Not the motor. Not the patents or promotions or revenge that turned into reconciliation. This, two people choosing each other despite the damage. Because of it, I kissed her at the wrong table and she showed me the truth. Sometimes the best designs come from broken parts that refuse to stay discarded. Sometimes wrong is just right, waiting to be recognized.